ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance.
Please welcome Charles Woodson.
Unfortunately, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching before I stole cotton candy from a child. Checking Allstate first was really smart. Not checking the Jumbotron, not smart. Well, at least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds. Was it worth it? Yeah.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It doesn't just have great bones. It was the backbone of your community. So you breathe in new life, grinding away to make space for tomorrow, for your people. This isn't just a restoration. Wow. It's a revival. Because you're always willing to double down on your neighborhood. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
My spot, mic drop. My spot, mic drop.
This is SportsCenter.
Yes, it is, and that's one of the more versatile players in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, more than 230 yards from scrimmage, setting a new career high for his young career as the Falcons get a huge win over the Bills at home on Monday Night Football.
Dan Orlovsky, Lou Riddick, this is what we do week after week. Where are they? We take the sky cam, we fly up to them under their lights. Can you guys wave? Oh, there we are.
Of course, Dan's going to wave
Dave's
like that.
right. Lewis is like, I'm too cool for that.
Lou's too cool for all that.
I know,
Lou's
guys.
too cool for all that.
Thanks for joining us. Look, if you look back at this game, Buffalo obviously had multiple chances in the second half. They were driving there at the end of the game. They had their chances. Why were they so unsuccessful if this is, to be believed, one of the best teams in the NFL?
Yeah, look, the difference between the line between winning and losing is a blown coverage, as you saw on the last drive, a drop potential pick six by Shaq Thompson on the last drive. They're also a little bit shorthanded. Josh didn't play his very best game. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You know, in the NFL, this league is designed for parity and for games to come down to one-score games, you know, maybe 10-point games. And then you also got to give Atlanta credit. This is a football team that's improved, and they got a lot of young thoroughbreds, and they were on display tonight.
I'll touch on Buffalo quickly. Yes, the injuries are no question a storyline because you come into this game, you're down two starting perimeter players, and then Josh Palmer goes out. And so if you're Joe Brady, the play caller, you've got this shrunk-down package of a fullback and two tight ends that you can go to. The play that stands out in my mind is that 3rd and 1 after they had come out in the second half, score, get the stop, and they go on that little drive, and they try that jet sweep to Elijah Moore. And in my eyes, that's going to be something that Joe Brady, who's a great play caller, wants back because put it in your quarterback's hands, put it in James Cook's hands. At that moment, you're starting to gain momentum. It ends up being a turnover on downs to Atlanta, and Atlanta, I think, just took control of that second half again.
And also go figure, that was Elijah Moore on that little jet sweep. Usually that's Curtis Samuel, who was injured tonight. So you can just see how just little changes in terms of personnel and maybe kind of a misfire in terms of strategy. That's how these kind of games get away from you.
Sort of becomes a domino effect in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear from Josh Allen coming up shortly here on SportsCenter. But let's turn it to the Falcons for a minute because they deserve the praise, as you mentioned, guys, in terms of what they did in this game. And they have a trio now, some really young, talented players. Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback, obviously, Bijan Robinson, and you got Drake London. That threesome right there from an offensive standpoint in a couple years could be the premier threesome in the league. What are they building there from an offensive standpoint early on in their careers?
I think their offense is very unique in the style that they play. They're in that shotgun and pistol all the time. Let me say this, America, Bijan Robinson will be in the MVP conversation within the next 3 or 4 weeks, and certainly in the Offensive Player of the Year conversation. He is an up-and-coming absolute superstar. We got a lot of really good backs in our league. Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's just as good as any of them. And they run their offense through him. And so They've been looking for Michael Penix to gain some consistency. We saw that tonight. Drake London has, for a couple years now, been one of the best interior slot receivers in the NFL, a matchup nightmare. But this is a coming-out party on national television on Monday Night Football for Bijan Robinson. And again, his name is absolutely going to trend into that MVP conversation the remainder of this season.
Yeah, this team reminds you a little bit of like how ideally you want to build a football team in college, meaning you want to ideally have it be a bunch of recruits who kind of really adopt the pride that comes along with wearing the colors because that was your first team. And that's what they have. They have a bunch of homegrown talent here, guys who are draft picks. On the defensive side of the ball, they haven't even scratched the surface. You know, guys like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., you know, those are guys who are going to be foundational players along with Michael Penix and along with Drake London and along with Bijan. And as you see these guys just continue to stack wins, and they've got one of the most dynamic head coaches in the NFL. I mean, Raheem Morris, I mean, he's electric when you talk to him. This team right now is trending this way. This is a big statement for them tonight.
What's the ceiling for them this season with where they are right now in the development? What is the ceiling for them?
Before the season, I thought they were a legit dark horse contender in the NFC. Because, Nicole, they've got all the makings of it. Can you block up front in your run game? Absolutely. Do you have perimeter players that can hurt you? For sure. And Darnell Mooney, their vertical guy, wasn't even there tonight. And this is a defense. Lewis is talking about it. Some of the young defensive players, they're just starting to learn NFL football in this system. So Tampa's the king of their division, no doubt. But can this team be a playoff football team this year? If their quarterback continues to play good football, there's no doubt about it.
They just need to stay healthy. Continue to play together. As you see right now, even though Buffalo had their chances to win this football game, you just see how much injuries play a factor in what offensive and defensive coordinators can do, especially in crunch time. And that's what they need. If they can keep these young guys on the field and continue to develop them in real time and game action, that's why you love the NFL.
Hey, guys,
on any given Sunday, legitimately.
Real quick before we let you go, I want to spin it back to the Bills for 1 second. Chris Fowler mentioned at the end of the game, they were the last unbeaten team in the league. Now they've lost 2 in a row. We're going to hear from Josh Allen here momentarily, by the way. Level of concern after 6 games, consider what you've seen these last 2.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to really strike and get chunks on the offensive side of the football, down the field. And I asked Josh that yesterday. Remember, I said to him, like, is that the next phase? Is that really where you need to get to? And they kind of brushed it off, but you saw it play out a little bit here tonight. Because when everything gets shrunk down, condensed, it's hard to win if you can't get yardage in chunks.
I don't have a lot of concerns about their offense. They have to get healthy on the perimeter. There's no question about it. They got to play cleaner. This has been one of the cleanest offenses giveaway-wise over the last 2 years in the NFL. So that has to be something that gets back to their roots. My concern has been about their defense. Better in the second half, but teams that can run the football. And I'm looking at Indianapolis in the AFC. I'm looking at New England in the AFC. I'm looking at the Chargers. They could run the football. That run defense is going to have to improve.
I'm also just looking at the quality of the teams that Buffalo has already beaten this season. It's the Ravens, back when we thought the Ravens were good, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Saints. Yet they've lost to the Patriots, and then they lost to the Falcons today. Gentlemen, thank you. Safe travels. We'll see you next week from Seattle.
Yep, thanks.
You bet.
All right, now joining us here on
Look at that
Sports
smile.
Oh, look at him. Drake London ready for TV, especially on a Monday night. And why not? 10 receptions, 158 yards. Drake, from a game plan standpoint, we were talking about that Buffalo Bills defense. What were you guys hoping to exploit when you saw the matchup coming up here tonight?
Any and everything, the run and the pass. We're trying to exploit everything and really ultimately just try to win the game.
Just for you personally, it's another 100-yard game, 10 catches, 158 yards. You had a big game the last time we saw you out there. But to do what you did, not just from you, but Bijan as well and Michael Penix as well, to do what you all did on Monday Night Football.
Sometimes, so being able to be in prime time, we can showcase that. So, yeah, it's really fun and good.
Well, she mentioned Bijan Robinson. In the first half, he had 100 yards rushing. You had 100 yards receiving in the first half. That's the first time that's happened for a Falcon squad since 1998. Now, Drake, I don't think you're old enough to remember the Dirty Bird era there in the A, but that was a very specific identity for a team that was challenging for Super Bowls. What type of identity are you guys trying to build there in Atlanta now?
Just Swiss Army knife offense. I mean, everybody could do everything. I mean, we got KP, we got Bijan, we got MP, we got Mooney, everybody out there who can do a lot of things on a lot of different levels. So just go out there and just really be Swiss Army knife.
So you're coming in off the bye. You guys are obviously well rested. You play primetime tonight. You get primetime next week against the 49ers. How do you take the momentum from tonight and travel it with you out to the Bay Area?
Even kill. The highs and lows, you got to take them the same. So we got to go out there and keep on trending upwards and just keep the same demeanor and mindset that we have right now.
Oh, last question before we let you go. Who's running the aux right now in the locker room? Who's in charge of the post-game music?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably.
Who should not be?
Yeah, exactly.
JP.
KP?
Oh, who should not be?
Yeah.
Who do you not want to hear from? Whose playlist you know is whack?
Don't worry, Eves would throw me under the bus. He wouldn't want me to control it.
Probably Tyler Algier. I have a feeling like it's not that great. But I'll go with that.
You do not want those AirPods. You already know they whack. Drake,
congrats.
Hey, we appreciate the time, man. Best of luck next week.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Josh Allen headed to the podium after the second straight loss for the Bills. You'll hear from him next.